Hi, my name is Rachel Elder, and I am a therapist and owner of Connected Couples Counseling. This month on the blog, we are diving into the topic of how fostering relationships is more important than being right. And I got a good story for you of how I totally bombed this. In the early stages of, I guess we were fiancés at this point with my husband, and man, I probably have many experiences of being that partner in the relationship of like, I'd rather be right than happy, or in this case, be right than make my partner feel connected and safe with me. So let me take you back to 2015. My husband and I had just got engaged, and prior to that, we had already planned a trip to go to England to visit my family, as my mom is British. And we were going to England so he could like experience what I grew up doing. When we traveled growing up, it was to go see family, because going to England with multiple kids is not cheap. So we went to England, and one of the days that we were there, we took the train into London, and we were exploring London for about 36 hours. And we got off the train, and I don't know where we were going, but essentially I was like, I know we're going the right way. And my husband was like, I don't think so, Rach. But I was like, no, we're going the right way. And he kind of backed off, and he let me believe that we were going the right way. And for about an hour, we walked an hour in the wrong direction. And finally he was like, why don't we stop and look at this sign? And he saw that we weren't going the right way. And I was wrong, but I was so focused on being right that I just couldn't focus on that. Maybe I'm not good at directions, even though I know that about myself. So that's experience number one. Then I learned probably should let my husband guide us. I am directionally challenged in a lot of ways. I cannot tell you north, south, east, west, ever. Google Maps even tells me where to go, and I still take the wrong turn because I'm like, I think I'm right. So why did I let him let me guide? So then later on, I can't remember if it was that day or the next day, we had been going for hours. I think it was the next day. And no, I don't know. We've been going for hours, and I hadn't eaten, and I am that person who like needs to eat every few hours, or for sure 3 meals a day consistently, or I get really hangry. And I had another moment where I wanted to be right. We kept going to places, and I was like, we're in London, we need to eat like traditional London food, which is essentially fish and chips. But I was like, we can't just eat like American food or just like anything that you can find in America. We need to eat British food. And there wasn't a lot of things open, and I kept saying no. I was so hungry. I think I was crying, and my husband decided to be like, sit down, woman, order something, and you're going to eat. We went to a German restaurant, which I, in my head, was like, this is so ridiculous that we're in a German restaurant when we're in London. We're not in Germany. We should be eating German food in Germany, but we're not there. Eventually I eat, and I'm a little happy girl after that, and I'm like, oh my, I need to apologize, because I was literally a child throwing a temper tantrum because I'm so hungry, mad about the food, and once I got the food in me, I was a way better person. I was so much happier. And I think back on those moments of how much me fighting to be right really impacted my husband, right? I wasn't a fun traveler to be with. I was probably super annoying and frustrating, and I wouldn't listen to him. I mean, eventually I did, right, in each of these situations, but I fought like heck to show that I was right. And I see this so often with the couples I'm working with. We say it often that part of the work that we do is you have to come in and be open to being wrong. If you're coming in trying to prove that you're right about how the relationship is, you're right about what's needed to change, and you double down, you get really stubborn on that, it doesn't allow you to really grow and evolve your relationship or foster your relationship. You could be right. In this situation, my husband was right both times. Rachel needs food. Rachel is directionally challenged. But he allowed me to take the lead, and it didn't damage our relationships. But a lot of times I've got couples sitting in front of me who are fighting so hard to be right. Now they even look to me to be like, aren't I right? And I sit across from them and say, like, even if I think you're right, it doesn't matter. What matters right now is what I'm watching happen between the two of you. What I'm watching is somebody typically getting shut down, or someone being so stubborn, so intense that the other partner caves in because they're like, I don't want to deal with this. There's nothing relational in a healthy way that's happening, even if you are right. Fostering a relationship means creating a space that both you and your partner feel safe and seen. And in order to do that, you have to be curious about one another. You have to want to hear one another, and you have to be open to thinking out of the box or thinking for movement, progress, solutions that work for both of you and not just one of you. And I just see so many couples fighting to be right. And we often say, like, wouldn't you rather be happy than be right? And sometimes people are like, no, I want to be right. But they don't recognize that in that process, they miss the opportunity of happiness with their partner. As my husband and I have lived life together, we're celebrating 8 years of being married, but we've known each other now for, I think this is year 12, been dating for 12 years. We've had to learn that when we double down of being right, it makes one of us feel pretty bad or make the other feel unseen. And so we've had to develop this process of learning how, okay, I think I'm right and you think you're right. But what does our relationship need? Like, how do we both win in this situation instead of one of us winning and the other losing? And that losing sense is not like you lost the game, but it's I lose connection. I lose trust. I lose leaning and depending on you. I lose opening up to you. Like, that's the loss. That's the consequence of fighting to be right or pursuing being right instead of happy in your relationship and fostering a relationship with your partner. So we talk about this in the blog this month. We use a made-up scenario, made-up client names of like how we see this progress in our sessions and how it can shift. And I think one thing I want to highlight that I write in the blog post is that it is possible that you're right? Or right? It is possible that you are right about something and can still focus on fostering relationship. It's possible to say, I know I'm right about this, and I'm going to help us move through this together and feel connected through it. I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm not going to be stubborn about it, but I am going to say, I know I'm right that there's a way that this can work for both of us. I know I'm right that there's a better way we can be doing this together. I know I'm right that something needs to change here. And I want you to be a part of that. I want this to be us working on this together, being a we instead of two I's against one another in this. So head to the blog, take a read. I'm curious your thoughts as always. What do you think about this stance of we'd rather be right than happy, or that fostering a relationship is so much more important than being right? Let me know. Put them in the comments and I'll see you next month.